Well, that you're also a film historian.
I am. I teach film history at the College of DuPage in Glen Ellen, Illinois. I've been doing that for 10 and a half years, and even before that, I was doing a lot of film courses, adult continuation classes and things like that. There's a film critic here in Chicago named Dan Geyer for the newspaper Daily Herald, and he and I teamed up about 13 years ago to form sort of kind of like a Siskel and Ebert act that we do live in front of an audience. It's called Dan and Raymond's Movie Club, and we perform every month at area libraries with different topics. We show film clips, we joke around, and we're very popular, actually. Last night, in fact, we did a show on film noir, and we picked our 15 favorite film noir titles and showed clips from them and gave people history about it, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm a film historian, definitely.
That's I love film noir. So what would be your top two film noir?
Double Indemnity is probably the quintessential film noir. I think that has everything in it, that you associate with film noir. The femme fatale and the voiceover narration and the cynical angst and the dialogue that's full of innuendo and that kind of thing. And the second one, I probably would pick The Killing, which is a heist movie that Stanley Kubrick directed in the 50s.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Well, okay, now for those of us who are going to join you for our presentation on October 1st, what can we expect?
Well, I'm doing a slideshow that I call the James Bond Phenomenon. And it's basically a James Bond History 101 that I'll pack into an hour and 15 minutes, and we'll have another 15 minutes for question and answers. And it basically goes through Ian Fleming's life, how he wrote the books, how they became movies, and then my own involvement in the franchise when I was writing the books. So it's, I've been doing this for many years all over the world. I even presented it at the Edinburgh International Book Festival. I was the opening act to J.K. Rowling.
Oh.
So, I was the warm-up act.
There we go. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So you're going to drive up in an Aston Martin?
No, I wish. Interestingly, for my second Bond book, we wanted to put Bond in a new car, and this was 97, 98. And at that point, the Jaguar was back in the news again. It was kind of a big deal again, the Jaguar XK8. And so we contacted Jaguar, and they gave me a car for a week so I could drive it and, check it out and use it, and they had a designer actually outfit with all the gadgets and stuff, where they would go, how would they work and everything. So we worked with Jaguar to do it. And so, I was driving a Jaguar XK8 for a week in my little suburban neighborhood. That was kind of awesome.
Nice perk. All right. So in your professional opinion, who is the best Bond?
Well, my favorite Bond will always be Sean Connery. Okay. He's who I grew up with. A lot of people, they pick their Bond according to who they saw first. Yeah. I know a lot of people 10, 15 years younger than me that say Roger Moore is their favorite. I know my son, who, GoldenEye was the first Bond movie he saw in the theater, so, Pierce Brosnan is one of his favorites. I think Connery really does, for me, it's Connery and then everybody else. So, Connery was the best. But interestingly, though, I think the one actor who actually embodies the literary Bond, the one that Fleming wrote about the most, who resembles him the most, that would be Timothy Dalton.
Really?
Yes, and he's probably my second favorite Bond.
Okay, that's fascinating. I think that would be a good incentive to go back and read some Bond books.
Well, they're very different from the movies. I mean, the Bond character is very different. In the books, he's more like the Daniel Craig character and the Timothy Dalton character. They're very serious. They're very ruthless. They're very cold. They don't have much of a sense of humor. The books had a sense of humor, but the Bond character did not. But when they started making the movies in the early 60s with Sean Connery, they kind of realized we can't do this unless there's some humor. And they kind of gave Bond this sort of worldly sophistication and a sense of humor. And it worked. You know, if Dr. No had not been a success, we wouldn't be talking about James Bond today.
Right, right. Okay. Well, is there anything about James Bond that we don't know?
There's probably a lot.
Okay. And you're going to tell us.
You'll just have to come to my presentation to find out those little tidbits.
Oh, you know, Raymond, it is just such a delight to talk with you, and we're so very excited to have you come for a visit. And we look forward to your new book coming out and having it here in the library.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to it as well. I haven't really been up in that area, so it's going to be fun.
Okay, so where's home for you?
I live in the northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, okay. So you're just
so it's not too bad of a drive.
It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So you should be able to find us with no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, Raymond, until October. Thank you so much.
Thank you.